Thought we already were. Need some intro music.
Okay, I think we're ready.
Okay. We'll call the September 2nd meeting of the Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Commission to order. Because the meetings are being held remotely, options for comment include: 1, comments may be emailed to publiccomment@shra.org, and they will be read into the recording during the meeting. Or 2, comments may be also made by phone by dialing toll-free 888-970-1444 to comment during the citizens' comments agenda item. Please call after the roll call is ended. To comment on a specific agenda item, please call at the beginning of that agenda item. We request that all commissioners and staff participants keep their microphones muted unless they're speaking. I can talk. And also, due to the fact we're using Zoom for the meetings, I will be asking for comments from each member or on each item or group of items after the staff presentations. You can use the raise hand feature or wave at me to get my attention. With that, we'll go to roll call. Vicki, please.
Alcalay.
Here.
Commissioner Boyd, I don't think is here yet. Morgan.
Here.
Nunley.
Here.
Osmany.
Here.
Stajabu.
Here.
And Commissioner Wu.
Here.
And you do have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Vicki. Items 3 and 4 will be presented together tonight. Is there any other suggested changes to the agenda from commissioners? Seeing none, the agenda is set as approved as set. Citizens' comments. Anyone interested in submitting public comments, submit them to publiccomment@shra.org or call 888-970-1444. Vicki, could you please read the citizens' comment script?
While the commission welcomes and encourages participation in commission meetings, please limit your comments to 3 minutes so that everyone may be heard. SHRA provides opportunities for the public to address the commission at this time in order to listen to opinions regarding non-agendized matters within the subject matter jurisdiction of SHRA. Consistent with the Brown Act, the public comment period on the agenda is not intended to be question and answer periods or a conversation with commission members. Members of the public with questions are encouraged to contact staff before or after the meeting. Members of the public wishing to provide comment should either email comments to publiccomment@shra.org or by calling 888-970-1444.
Thank you. Are there any email or voice comments tonight on the general? Okay, thank you. With that, we'll go to the minutes from August 19th. Any changes to the printed minutes from commissioners? Seeing none, the minutes will stand as submitted. So, first item is public hearing, the 2021 annual plan for the Housing Authority of the City and County of Sacramento to the Public Housing Agency Annual Plan, Admissions and Continued Occupancy Policy, and Administrative Plan. Presentation.
Okay, Susette's going to make this presentation today.
Yes. Okay. Good evening, Chair Morgan and members of the Commission. My name is Susette Hawkins. I'm a project manager for the Housing Authority. Today,
Susette, can you have somebody move a microphone closer to you?
You need to speak up too.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit better.
Is this better?
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
you're welcome. Today, I'm presenting the changes proposed to the 2021 PHA plan, including the admissions and continued occupancy policy and administrative plan. The proposed changes to the 2021 Acop include the following. We added language to the Acop for residents that provide pay stubs, that they would provide pay stubs that are equivalent to 30 days, so because residents are paid on a weekly basis. We added language to include the change that families have in housing composition, and that a form will be provided, which is the 50058, will be generated for them to sign. We added language to make sure that residents that park their vehicles on the properties are registered with the DMV in the resident's name, and that they also show proof of insurance at residence address. For the HEB program, there were no proposed changes to the 2021 administrative plan. Together, these documents provide a comprehensive guide to the Housing Authority's policies, operations, and strategies for meeting local housing needs and goals consistent with the Housing Authority's overall goal to improve operating efficiencies and service to our residents. We made these documents available to the public on July 19th, 2020, for a 45-day notice period, and consulted with Resident Advisory Board and Legal Services of Northern California. We received a letter at 10 to 6 this evening from Legal Services and didn't have a chance to review it, but will be provided to you for our next meeting in October. No other comments were received from the public. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Okay, we'll open the public hearing. And are there questions from commissioners? I see no raised hands. I see nobody waving. I will comment. Today, the RAB voted to issue a letter of support to the Housing Authority for the annual plan Acop package. So that will be forthcoming to you folks. They didn't get there today, but look for it in a couple days here.
Thank you.
And is there any public comment?
Not at this time.
Either of those. So with that, we'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion for passage. Actually, we're going to pass this time or next time?
Next time.
Next time.
Okay.
Right.
I will skip the motion and the vote, and we'll move on to business item 2, the 2020 North Lake Senior Apartments Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act, hearing approval for tax-exempt bonds.
Hello, good evening, Chairman Morgan and Commissioners. My name is Jalen McQuillan. I'm a housing finance analyst in the Development Finance Department. Staff is requesting approval of a tax-exempt bond issuance for the new construction of North Lake Senior Apartments. North Lake Senior Apartments is a new construction affordable housing development for seniors located on a 7.54 acre lot in the Greenbrier Master Development, located between Elkhorn Boulevard, Highway 99 and I-5. The development by St. Anton Communities will have 155 one-bedroom units and 36 two-bedroom units, as well as a 3,350 square foot community room. Greenbrier is a master planned area that will be transit-oriented, a mixed-use community with residential, commercial, recreational parks, lakes, open space, and public land use to incorporate a light rail station along the planned downtown Natomas Airport line. To meet the mixed income housing ordinance obligation for the single family homes, the developer proposes to build the 191 affordable North Lake Senior Development, which includes 2 exempt management units. 58 units will be regulated at 50% AMI, and 131 units will be regulated at 60% AMI. Resident services will be provided by Pacific Housing, Inc., which would provide a minimum of 15 hours of resident services per week. The project will be managed by St. Anton Multifamily, which has a lot of experience in affordable housing apartment communities. In closing, the staff recommends the approval of the tax-exempt bond issuance for the new construction of North Lake Senior Apartments, and we are available for any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Any questions of commissioners? See no raised hands, no waving. So I guess there's no questions. Is there any public comment? Nope, okay. In that case, I'm open for a motion.
Make a motion to approve the tax-exempt bonds.
Okay,
I'll second.
thank you, Daryl. So
I
we have a
second.
motion and a second. Vicky, roll call, please.
Alcalay,
Yes.
Morgan.
Aye.
Osmany,
Aye.
Nunley,
Aye.
Stajabu,
Aye.
and Commissioner Wu.
Aye.
And motion carries.
All right, thank you. That takes us to items 3 and 4. Authorization to adopt the second substantial amendment to the 2021 year action plan, amend the Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Agency budget to adopt the citizens participation plan related to the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act CARES, City and County Report.
All right. Good evening, Celia Iniguez, Program Manager with the Federal Programs Division. Just for some background, as you may recall, back in March, the federal government approved the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Securities Act, or CARES Act. And that, for us, allocated funding in our 3 entitlement programs: housing opportunities for persons with AIDS, the Community Development Block Grant Program, as well as the Emergency Solutions Grant Program. Early in April, we came before you to allocate the first round of funding to all 3 of those programs. Today, we are allocating the second round of the Emergency Solutions, or ESG, allocation. And just so that you're aware, we will have a third round, another round of CDBG sometime in the future. And so you'll be seeing me a lot. So this evening, as you may recall, in April, the funding plan was developed by the Sacramento Homeless COVID-19 Homeless Response Team to address the impacts of COVID-19 in the homeless community. They came with a plan to address a variety of aspects to prevent the spread of homelessness, to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in the homeless community. So that included a variety of things, including providing funding to existing homeless shelters, as well as augmenting facilities in the way of master leasing motels, providing quarantine facilities in state-owned trailers, as well as providing materials and equipment and supplies to encampments. This was a comprehensive because it included both the city and the county. And back in April, all together with ESG, CDBG, as well as other state COVID-19 funds, $15 million was allocated to this effort to provide facilities through, we thought at the time, through July. That, of course, is the pandemic is not under control, and it is actually increasing here in Sacramento. So the team over these past few months have retooled and repositioned and trying to bring additional outcomes to this pandemic. Just so that you are aware of what has been accomplished, the quarantine and isolation centers have housed more than 1,000 people, and this has been done in over 500 motel rooms and nearly 60 trailers since mid-June. So as I would also like to do, the team also wanted to do was, they're providing shelter in motels for these for the unsheltered folks but really it's an opportunity to get them into more permanent housing. And so that's been part of the pivot. We have these folks, and now how can we get them into more stable housing is really critical. So the team identified a goal of providing 500 of the folks in these motels and in our shelters permanent housing for a period of hopefully 18 months. So looking to other funds, including these emergency solution grant funds, as well as funds that are going directly to the city and the county called coronavirus relief funds, or CRF funds. So again, pulling as much resources as possible to this effort. And so the pivot is to reduce the total number of motel rooms to 600, accommodate folks through the end of December, and as quickly as possible with these funds, rehouse them. So provide them case management, rental assistance, helping them find a more permanent space to live. So that's the big plan. And then I'm just going to review for the city and for the county and then the city, the difference in the allocations and what the more specific programs are. So for the county, funding of $11.2 million towards programs, again, funding towards this Project Room Key, which is providing preventative quarantine shelters and motels, providing additionally scattered site shelters, so similar but in smaller facilities throughout the city and the county, providing funds to their flexible housing pool, which is rental assistance and case management for folks, helping them find more permanent housing and subsidize that over 18 months. Also funding for bringing families home, which is rental subsidies for families who are in the Child Protective Services system. One of the things, this has been very successful, that oftentimes in order for reunification, one of the critical things is to having a stable home. And so this is a very easy win to create a stable home for folks. And the last thing is, last program for funding in the county is a prevention program specifically for seniors and youth, and specifically for TAY. So that is a new program. So again, that's $11.2 million in programs, and then there'll be a little more than $600,000 for administrative purposes for SHRA. In the city, funding will go towards outreach, the Downtown Streets team, augmenting the 5th Street Navigation Center. That is a shelter off of North 5th in the River District, providing funding to a new program you'll hear more about in the coming weeks, a rental assistance program to prevent homelessness, and then also providing operational funds for Project Home Key, and you'll hear about that in another presentation. So total program funds from the city is 9.6, and a little over 500,000 for administration for SHRA. The action this evening is some modifications to our consolidated plan, as well as actions to our changes to our one-year action plan, and as well as authority to amend our budget. So with that, I'm open for questions.
All right, thank you very much. Commissioners, questions? Cecile.
I just had a question, and I'm not sure if you can answer it at this time, but if you need some time and can get the information later would be great. At the start of the pandemic, I know there was a huge concern that with the homeless population, if the COVID-19 started in that population, it could just really be, have a tremendous negative impact, I suppose is the best way to put it. Do you have any statistics as to how we did with those particular shelters, like the hotel where it had to go from double occupancy in some of those rooms to single occupancy so that there was appropriate social distancing and those types of things?
Mm-hmm.
How did we do on all of that? I just haven't heard any numbers. I haven't seen anything in the paper, but I'm just curious, how did we do? Were we able to mitigate so that that population was spared some of the really bad consequences of the COVID-19?
So I believe this report, and I can forward you, actually, they produce a weekly update. But this is from our COC from Sacramento Steps Forward, and they produce a monthly update. They administered tests in shelters, encampments, and in the quarantine shelters, as well as loaves and fishes, a total of 1,300. Of that, only 9 were positive results.
Wow.
So I think it's been very, very effective.
Great to hear. Thank you so much.
I was just going to add, that's the same thing that we also found at Capitol Park. We actually tested all of the residents, the guests who were there, and there were no positive cases at the shelter.
Remarkable. Great job.
All right, thank you. Jasmine. Unmute.
Hi. So, wait, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I know that the B had said something about how a lot of the CARES Act money went to law enforcement. And I was wondering if any of that was allocated for purposes of responding to homeless calls and things like that, or if that was not relevant.
So what I understand is that money, that is money that has been directly given to the jurisdiction. So that is the Corona Relief Fund, CRF fund. And so, yes, that was allocated as of the overall CARES package, but that is under the specific purview of the city and the county. And so we have no say over what happens to that.
Okay, so it didn't have any major impacts on how the money was allocated for SHRA purposes?
No, the funds that we actually control at SHRA are the funds that Celia was talking about, you know, the Emergency Solutions Grant, ESG, the CDBG. So some of those federal funds that flow through the agency, those are the ones that we are reporting out in terms of their expenditure. The other funds, the CRF funds that went to the city and county, it's under their jurisdiction. It doesn't flow through us at all.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I have a related question to Jasmine's, and that is some of the public housing units had security that was paid through CARES. Was that through HUD instead of through the CBDG?
That is correct. HUD did allocate funds to us for public housing to help mitigate some of the additional expenses that we occurred as a result of CARES. And so we did add additional security to really try to get a handle on the number of people who were coming in and out of our buildings, and to make sure that there was social distancing, and to add just additional layer of protection for our residents. But yes, that came from HUD to us.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions? See no waving hands, no voices. Is there any public comment?
No comments on this item.
Okay, excellent. With that, I'll take a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Thanks, Cecile and Beryl. Vicki, roll call.
Alclay,
Aye.
Boyd,
You
is
have
that
to
it?
mute.
Yeah, 9 months later, I'll figure it out.
Okay. Morgan,
Aye.
Ozany,
Aye.
Nunley,
Aye.
Stajabu,
Aye.
and Commissioner Wu.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. That takes us to the Executive Director's Report. Michelle.
Oh, no, there's one more staff item.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm trying to skip over the home key program because she mentioned it. Item 5, approval of the home key program application. I'm gonna let somebody else read the title. You're on. La Mancha project?
La Mancha.
La Mancha.
La Mancha.
Okay.
I knew I was gonna butcher it.
Yeah, so this is the approval of the home key program application for La Mancha. And Christine's gonna go ahead and give that presentation.
All right.
Good evening, Commissioners. Christine Weigert from Development Finance. On August 5th, I was before the Commission presenting information about the state's home key program, which provides funding to convert motels into permanent supportive housing for homeless. The home key program utilizes the federal coronavirus relief fund, or CRF, as Celia was just talking about, which must be spent by December 30th of this year. We originally anticipated submitting one application for the city of Sacramento, but the city council really encouraged us to submit additional applications if possible. So SHRA and Mercy staff hurried to submit a second application by the deadline of August 13th. The application would allow Mercy Housing to acquire Wood Springs Suites on La Mancha, which is in the south area of the city, which is an extended stay motel with kitchenettes, and convert it to 100 units of permanent supportive housing. The state requires a resolution from the city council as part of the complete application, but a resolution can be submitted after the application, so that we're late here doesn't really have an impact on the state's review or funding determination. Maybe now is a good time for me to tell you that we were successful in our first application for Hawthorne on Burkett off of Richards Boulevard in the River District. So that application was for $10.2 million for acquisition and rehabilitation, plus another $2.2 million for operations. So we're really excited, but we're going to give you a complete report on that next month, which will include funding and operations and services and what it's going to look like long-term. And we hope next month to also bring back a report with more detail on La Mancha, this report, but we still haven't heard if we're successful or not. We're going to hope we're successful in the application. And with your passage of this resolution today, it's one step further in getting funding for that as well. So with that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Question of commissioners. Barry, unmute first though.
I think I'm clear now. Quick question. The extended stay, it's still operational now, or did they close it on La Mancha?
It is operational now. It doesn't appear that, it's operational now, but a lot of rooms are being rented for longer term stays, but it is operational now.
Okay, and maybe I missed it. The want date to take over, to change the facility into a residency is projected at when?
So if our application is successful, hopefully we'll be notified soon, with maybe this week or next. Then the idea would be back before you in October, and the city council in October, detailing the plan. The state is asking that acquisitions of these motels take place by the first week of November. And then 90 days after that, they would be occupied.
Moving quickly, right on. Okay, thank you.
Michael.
So good news. That's great news, and I hope we can get to La Mancha too. So you opened the door, Christine, as I look at you in my square in the middle of the page, or center square, you and Lachelle. The Hawthorne Suites. Now, you said we got funding for that. Did you guys close the deal on that?
No, absolutely not. We need some additional approvals from City Council and you, the Commission. So they awarded the funds to SHRA, but we're going to be back with a lot of other approvals, including, the approval to actually sign the agreement with the state of California to take that $2 million. And you will see that. You'll see a lot more detail. We know it's been very high level for you so far. So you'll see a staff report with a lot of detail, probably October, first commission meeting in October, which the second.
Quick follow-up on that. So is there a signed offer and an acceptance with the hotel, or you guys are still in that negotiation stage?
So the purchaser will be Jamboree Housing Corporation. They have a letter of intent right now with the seller. They are very close to a purchase and sale agreement. In fact, they may have signed, I'm not sure, as of today, I could find out. But then of course, they will not close and purchase the property till, again, I said November. So you will absolutely have a chance to know more about the project and weigh in on it before they purchase it.
And then with the Mercy one, the Mercy submission, where are we on that one?
It would be the same timeline. They too have a letter of intent with the seller, but until you find out, we just found out last week that our Hawthorne application had been approved. So we're sort of still in that limbo period without really moving a whole lot faster on the La Mancha until we hear, because the competition was very tough. I think we told you there was 25 million for our jurisdiction, which is Sacramento and the surrounding counties. I think they got over $70 million dollars worth of applications. So, almost a 3-to-1 of what they're going to award. So we don't know about La Mancha. We're very happy that we got 10 million of that 25 million for Hawthorne. So we'll have to wait and see. We're told that.
Just a clarification on my question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine.
2 meetings ago, we passed 2 home key proposals. One was, and both did not have properties associated with them, right? They weren't in the written proposal. So, we learned later it was Hawthorne because of the letter. Was there a property associated with the Mercy proposal 2 weeks ago, or the 2 meetings ago? That's
Right.
my question.
Two meetings ago, we had one resolution for the city of Sacramento,
Right.
which was Hawthorne.
Correct.
And we had one for the county of Sacramento, which we took to the Board of Supervisors, and they determined that they would rather not apply for home key for that property. It was going to be the Lions Gate Motel on the former McClellan Air Force Base.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Jasmine, I think I saw your hand up a moment.
No, I think I just didn't put it down after my last question. Thank you, though.
Okay. I don't see any other waving hands. Nothing. Okay, thank you, everybody. With that, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Cecile and Darrell.
We're trying to make it easy on the staff. It's always the same too.
You're muted, Vicki.
Aye.
Boyd?
You're muted, Barry.
Okay.
0 for 3. Aye.
Commissioner Morgan?
Aye.
Chair Morgan, sorry. Osmany?
Aye.
Nunley?
Aye.
Stajabu?
Aye.
Starks?
Aye.
And Wu.
Aye.
And motion carries. And Chair Morgan, I wanted to mention that Lyra did receive a comment that should have gone in citizens' comments. Would you like her to read that now?
Sure. Why not?
My name is Bonnie Benson, and I represent Fortune School of Education. I attended the November 12th, 2019 Commission meeting as the Commission was approving our interim lease for the use of Donner Field. During that meeting, there was an inquiry by a commissioner about the school's interest in acquiring the field. As I was in the audience, I responded to the inquiry that the school is still very interested in acquiring the property. Several members of the commission expressed interest in supporting the school's desire to acquire the land and gave direction to staff to find out how that might be possible if Related was unable to produce a viable plan for affordable housing development within the allotted time frame. It appears that Related has not presented a viable plan, as the commission is again requesting proposals for developing affordable housing on Donner Field. And I would like to again express Fortune School's very strong interest in acquiring the land. Best, Bonnie Benson, CFO, Chief Financial Officer, Fortune School of Education.
All right, thank you, Lara. I think all we can do is just hear that and move on. So with that, we will then move ahead to the executive director's report.
I have a question.
Yes, Michael.
I think you can refer that to staff so they can report back to us. I mean, I would hate to have that end up on deaf ears. I think that's a legitimate question. And so if we could have staff look into it and report back to us, that would be great.
We'll follow up.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll go ahead. So next commission meeting, September 16th is canceled. And so the next time that we'll be convening is October 7th. So I just want to make sure on your calendars that there is not a meeting scheduled for September 16th. And also a big event tomorrow that we are absolutely thrilled about, and that is Marisol Village. We're having a virtual celebration to do a groundbreaking. So there's been obviously a lot of work going on in the infrastructure, and we want to go ahead and get our groundbreaking so that we can celebrate the accomplishments and where we are with this project before it starts going vertical. So that is scheduled for tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. And please join us. You should have received information about joining us on Facebook Live. Did everyone get that? Great. So there'll be a few people out at the site, but if you can tune in on Facebook tomorrow at 10:30, we'll have some few speeches, but we'll be able to turn the ceremonial dirt that really marks the beginning construction on this project. And it truly, truly has been a labor of love on the part of all of the staff at SHRA and the city and the River District, everyone, and council members, that has really transpired. More than one council member who's been working very diligently on this project, which is the largest affordable housing project that is going on within the city and probably as well as the county. So we're thrilled to be able to have that celebration tomorrow. Unfortunately, it won't be like our normal ones where we could all come together, but we will do it to the best of our ability in a virtual sense, and look forward to you joining us. And that is where we are.
Cool. I have a question in regards to that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody could give us an answer. Right on 12th Street, they've done some construction underground with some concrete squares, if you will. They've dug in down a couple feet down into the ground and made some channels that are about, I'm going to guess, about 6 feet apart. And they cemented those in. Somebody was out there drilling anchors into them today. I'm curious what that is. So if somebody could answer that tomorrow, that'd be really cool.
Okay. Yes, I don't know off the top of my head, but we'll look into that and get back to you.
I figured it'd be a construction guy response, but
guy or woman, construction person.
Yes. Well, I was thinking maybe Mike Taylor or somebody, but that's why I said guy.
Okay.
But I don't know. Anyway, so for the commission chair's report, I would personally like to say thank you very much for the tour. I think that went very well. As we virtually went everywhere without going anywhere. And I think it was very effective. So thank you.
Good. We're glad you enjoyed it. We're glad you enjoyed it. We got a chance really to see more things because we did it virtually versus getting in the bus.
So maybe that'll be inspiration to do more of it in other ways like this in the future.
Yeah, a big thanks to Vicki and Lyra. They worked really, really hard to pull that off and did an excellent job.
Cool. Thank you, ladies. So with that, items and questions of commission members.
Just one. Daryl, you're going transparent on us. What's going on?
I don't know.
If it's not the flies, it's transparency, Daryl.
A little fading out there, or gray fading in. I don't know. Okay, any?
Yeah, I'd like to say apologies. I just had a string of SMUD things, and also just want to announce, and forgive the bad lighting here. I can only see half of my face. Yeah, shut up, Barry. We will have a new CEO, Paul Lau, at SMUD, and we're glad that Paul has ascended to the heights. We believe he'll do a fine job, and look forward to possibly getting him with Lachelle in some future meeting.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. I did see that announcement on social media. So I was really thrilled that they had selected someone who obviously had a lot of history. I think he's worked at SMUD for quite some time, hasn't he?
Quite some time.
Yeah, so that's great. No, I look forward to getting an opportunity to meet with him and to continue the really great partnership and collaboration that we have had under Harlan's leadership. And hopefully those things can continue with your new CEO.
Yes.
While we're on that subject, Sam, somebody asked me about refrigerators the other day. Is that program still going on?
That program is still going on. You have to be a part of our energy assistance program that provides a monthly discount, that provides free weatherization. We do all kinds of really cool things for people who are low income, and as a result of COVID, people have suffered losses of income. And so we're really getting out into the community, just letting folks know that we're not going to disconnect you until, through January of 2021, and part of that mix is providing free refrigerators to people. What we do is they have to be 12 years, the refrigerator has to be in working condition, 12 years or older, and we can exchange it for a brand new one. And indeed, we've worked with SHRA with making the switch on a lot of theirs, and I think that's still going.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'll work in the background to make some connections happen. So keep your ear peeled. All right, anything else?
Actually, I do. And I think I'm working and not in the moot state, correct? Everyone can hear me? Fantastic. Hey, I won one. I'm sorry if I'm revisiting with you guys, but did everybody have the opportunity to read the SAC Cultural Hub's piece on SHRA and specifically Lachelle?
I read it.
For those who didn't know, SacramentoCulturalHub.com, you can pull up the piece, and they did a piece on SHRA's 80-year endeavor for here in the anniversary here for the city of Sacramento, and Lachelle's featured in the articles.
All right.
Can you guys make that available to us? Perfect.
Yes, we can actually make that available. Whoop, bless you.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. We can make that available to you. We got a few extra copies.
I mean, that's the kind, I don't want to take Mike Alkali's words, but if he were here, no.
Well, I am here, but
I know, Mike, I'm being funny. He might say something like that, Barry and everybody should be a part of our Facebook or a part of our any kind of things that we can celebrate in the community. The things that might be on our website, all the positive and good things. I think folks need to hear some good messages.
Added promotional piece.
Definitely.
Yes, they did. There's an article on myself as well as Tyrone. So yes, we can get that out to you.
I'm looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. So, anybody else? See no waving hands. Last chance. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Great, thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Night.